We welcome you into this weekend's episode of the Ohio State of Mind, a show powered by Scarlet and Gray Sports Radio. Hi everybody, I'm Tyler Danburg. Caleb Spinner, my co-host, is not with us this weekend, but he is killing it with the Columbus Blue Jackets with Scarlet and Gray Sports Radio, so we wish Caleb the best in what is pretty much a bittersweet time of the athletic season. Winter sports winding down, spring season's about to begin. While the end of winter sports might mean it might be a little bit bitter, it's certainly sweet for Ohio State women's basketball as they travel to Seattle to take on the UConn Huskies this Saturday, March 25th, in the Sweet 16, a battle for the Elite Eight on the line. The 3 seed Buckeyes taking on the 2 seed UConn Huskies. Ohio State beating 6 seed North Carolina at the start of this week in dramatic fashion. J.C. Sheldon points 15 and 16 in the game, and it came in the final seconds. A buzzer beater to defeat the Tar Heels and send Ohio State to the Sweet 16 for the 13th time. They will be taking on a UConn team that is 31-5. And when you think about women's college basketball, especially over the last 2 decades, you think of Gino Auriemma and UConn. 11 national titles since the turn of the 21st century. Just one of college sports' best dynasties. And how about this story for you? Dorka Juhas, the Huskies' leading rebounder, 4th on the team in scoring. This is her 2nd year playing for the Huskies, but she had previously spent her time at Ohio State, a 2-time first-team All-Big Ten selection. She'll be taking on her former team. In more postseason play, men's hockey trying to make another appearance in the Frozen Four. That run begins with a regional matchup in Bridgeport, Connecticut, coming up tonight, Friday night, against Harvard. Now, the Crimson on the season out of the ECAC, 24-7-2. Ohio State 20-15-3. The Buckeyes making the Big Ten semifinal where they lost to Michigan. They are one of 4 Big Ten teams competing in the NCAA tournament. The other ones, Minnesota and Michigan. And then Penn State also in there. They're a number 2 seed. The Buckeyes also have not played since March 11th, but they do have the top penalty kill unit in the country, and they also have 10 shorthanded goals. They're led by goaltender Jakub Dobesh, who had another fantastic regular season in the net, and a freshman, Stephen Halliday, an honorable mention all Big Ten. He led the team in points as a freshman. Last year, Georgi Merkulov, also a freshman, led Ohio State in points. 22 different Ohio State players this year have posted at least 1 point, and 18 of those have scored a goal. Wrapping up postseason play, it's gymnastics, coming off their best finish at the Big Ten Championship since 2012. They placed 4th. They went to 22-8 on the year. And again, as we just talked about, their highest overall finish at the Big Ten Championships and the highest conference championship meet score in program history at a 196.975. They continue the postseason at the NCAA Norman Regional as the 16 seed as they will head to Norman, Oklahoma. That will begin on March 30th in the second session of that second round against number 1 Oklahoma, Arkansas, and the winner of the first round matchup between NC State and Ball State. That will begin this weekend. So we talked about the wrapping up of winter seasons. Hopefully all 3 of those teams will continue their seasons, but it is the dawn of a new season as well, the Big Ten Conference season. First off, it's Ohio State and Rutgers in men's lacrosse beginning this weekend, a big matchup between 2 high-powered offenses. And then in baseball and softball, the Big Ten Conference opening series will begin on the diamond with baseball. They travel to Bloomington to take on the Indiana Hoosiers. The first time Bill Mosiello and his staff will compete in the Big Ten against a conference opponent. Ohio State 12-7, Indiana 14-7. That series will begin Friday through Sunday. Getting the start for Ohio State on Friday afternoon at 4 p.m. First pitch is Isaiah Coupe, who has been one of the best pitchers in the Big Ten this season. Coupe on the year, 3-1. He had 11 strikeouts in his last start in the home opener Friday night against Dayton. That was the sixth straight win for Ohio State in what would eventually be a 7-game win streak. Then Tuesday night, Ohio State lost 3-0 to Wright State. Then they bounced back, hitting 4 home runs Wednesday night and defeating the Rockets 6-4. They'll be taking on an Indiana team who they are led by a couple of strong pitchers, including Evan Whitaker, who had a 13 strikeout game not too long ago. Ohio State softball also on a winning streak. This time 12 straight games, and they're 18-7 on the year. That 12-game win streak, the Buckeyes' longest in 17 years. The last time they won 12, that was in 2006. The Buckeyes entering conference play with the Big Ten's third best overall winning percentage. They also have 6 players that have driven in 10 or more runs. They also have 6 players that have batted at least 300 or better. They're led by Big Ten co-player of the week, Melina Wilkeson, the freshman star last year, now a sophomore, and she's batting .424 with 22 runs batted in and 6 doubles. In the circle, Allison Smith leads the Buckeyes and leads the Big Ten with 114 strikeouts. She leads the team in innings pitched, earned run average, and wins, and she will most likely get the Game 1 start Saturday at 3 p.m. against the Michigan Wolverines. How about that? Not only does Ohio State begin the Big Ten season at home and begin the Big Ten season, but they do it taking on their rivals from Ann Arbor. This will be new for Michigan, taking on Ohio State for the first time in almost 4 decades without legendary head coach Carol Hutchins at the helm. This time it's Bonnie Toll who will be taking over for Michigan after 29 years as an assistant for Hutchins. And she'll do it against a former player that she coached in Kelly Kovac-Shanley, the former Michigan Wolverine pitcher back in the 90s, also a former Michigan assistant. So another great storyline there. Kelly Kovac-Shanley for Ohio State. She's won 500 games in her career in Columbus, and she'll get to take on her former team for the first time without Carol Hutchins. But the Buckeyes, they will begin their series against Michigan Saturday at 3. Then they'll take on the Wolverines again Sunday, March 26th at 1. Game 3 still to be decided. Now, this was supposed to be a Friday, Saturday, and Sunday series. That changed due to weather. Friday's game got moved to Saturday, Saturday's game to Sunday, and Game 3 will be played at a time and day to be determined. Time for our Buckeye stickers. Now, Caleb is not with us today, so he will not be able to give his, but I'll give mine, and you got to give it to Ohio State men's volleyball. They began the week Saturday. They had a 5-set victory over the 12th ranked team in the country in Ball State. They were down 2-0. Then they win the next 3 sets, and they defeat the Cardinals. And then later that week, they beat the number 1 team in the country, the Penn State Nittany Lions, in State College. Their first win over a number 1 team in the nation since they defeated, for the national championship, BYU, a 3-0 victory back in 2016. So the first win over a top-ranked team in the nation since 2016, and that was in the national championship. So Kevin Birch and his Buckeyes, they are rolling, and you'd have to assume the number 15 ranked team in the country is going to keep rising from here. So that will do it on this weekend's episode of The Ohio State of Mind. We were talking softball, baseball, basketball, hockey, a little gymnastics, a little lacrosse, and a little men's volleyball. For Caleb Spinner, I'm Tyler Danburg signing off. We'll talk to you next week as we continue to recap and preview everything in Ohio State athletics.